Tape www.suividecolosénégal.com. À École au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape École au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
We're still on writing, and we're going to move now to descriptive. We talked about narration, you're telling, you're showing. Descriptive, actually, as the name entails, it's trying to describe a person, place, or thing. And it's very, very critical, because you have to make it so vivid, so visual, that he who is listening to it actually puts themselves into that situation. They want to see it come alive. That is descriptive. You have to be really detailed. You have to really be precise and concise, so that they actually understand. That is a descriptive writing. And descriptive writing, what is the purpose of it? Why are you writing what you're writing? You need to be able to know. It's important that you're not only picking the topic, but you have to have a purpose of your writing. Why are you writing? Is it a memory of someone? Is it to commemorate someone? Why are you writing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why the essay? Why is it? That's descriptive. Why? That's the purpose, the objective, the reason for what you're doing. And then the second one is to pay attention to details. You have to be very, very meticulous. You have to be very, very precise, very focused. They need to know, what you're saying. Like the listeners or the reader, has to actually get in your shoes and actually get in your head, matter of fact. Okay, so details are very, very critical with descriptive writing. Every detail is vital. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And then figurative language and descriptions are very, very, very important, such as a simile, a metaphor. Those are some of it. Just to name a few of some of those figurative languages. There are a bunch of them out there that you can use, simile and metaphor to mean something else, simile to compare. Those are some of the things that you can add to descriptive. And oftentimes descriptive is used in literature. Okay, in literature you hear a lot of them because they're trying to compare, so that it brings you closer. It brings you closer to the thoughts and the mind of the writer. That's why they use a lot of simile figure, and they call them figurative languages. A simile, she's as tall as a coconut tree, or as strong as a lion. That's a simile, or a metaphor. So they're all those different languages that you need to add into descriptive to kind of spice up the writing. You need to spice it up a little bit. And then you have a thoughtful organization is important. It's almost like the outline, to create an outline for narrative. Thoughtful organization is similar to it. Chronological order simply means, the plot. How does it go from A to B, from 1 to 3, from this phase to this phase? That's chronological order. It has to go by order. You don't want to mix things up. You want to make sure it goes step by step. That is chronological. Chronological means that it goes from step by step. It's taking meaning, a different meaning step by step. Spatial talks about the location. Spatial talks about the location or the setting. Spatial, it means the setting. Where is it taking place? Where does it start off to take place at? Is it by the sea banks, and then continues to, to an island, or to some kind of land or location or space, whatever it is? Spatial means a location or the setting. Where is it taking place? And then order of importance is very, very important. Order of importance. What is more important? The way you present it, by order of importance. Okay, so that is descriptive to you. They're quite similar though. The only difference is that narrative probably would show, whereas descriptive will actually be telling you something, but it's telling you in a very descriptive, in a very vivid way. It's trying to explain to you so that you get to understand it, and you actually put yourself to it. Whereas in narration, it's much more relaxed. It's much more about the person, about your lives, or whatever. Even descriptive maybe, but it just depends on your tone. With descriptive, you really have to use figurative language. You really have to have details, an eye for details. Être vraiment détaillé, être précis, être méticuleux. That is descriptive, because every little word counts. It counts. And so when you do that, take note. I wrote you the 5 senses, just because, of course, we know the senses: to hear, to to the eye, the ear, the nose, the hand, what's the other, the mouth, because you have to taste, taste. Okay, taste buds. And so when you're describing something, you say, I can smell the rose. It was smelling like a beautiful, or the perfume was smelling like a beautiful rose flower. So it makes me to kind of imagine with my nose to kind of smell it, And so the senses need to come alive in your description. You have to use metaphors or use some adjectives that actually bring alive it by using maybe, what do you see? I saw a beautiful tall building painted in red, it was such, I could hear a very loud noise, like coming from, like it was a truck or so. The smell from my next door neighbor was like rotten bananas or rotten eggs. So you're using different metaphors, you're using different figurative languages, and it makes it come alive. The description makes it so vivid and so interesting. Of course, you have the introduction body, when you're describing, you're going from one step to the other. So these are the different forms of narratives or narrations of writing. The narrative writing and the descriptive writing. And even in your letter writing, of course, we know about the letter writing, which we'll get to that. But I hope that this helps. I'm going to send out some examples of a short narrative writing and as well as a short descriptive writing. So you can look at it and try to kind of bring out the differences, compare and contrast, and of course pull out the 5 senses and see if it's possible, to get any of them. I hope that this helps on how to write it, and I want you to practice, and I need you to write to me if you ever needed assistance. Thank you. This is Teacher Raissa.